Just smile. It's a simple suggestion. When you see people smiling, what do you think about them? That person's enjoying life. They seem happy. But what if they aren't? What if they're just trying to hide the pain that looms over their lives? Or what if smiling is the key to unlocking a simple truth about life? It's what you choose to do with that smile that makes life worthwhile.
Emma and I actually have been roommates since day one here at the dorms as a freshman. It's just grown from there. We're right off campus now in a house with 3 other softball teammates. It's just grown since the beginning, and I couldn't imagine a life in college without her being my roommate.
We obviously got in contact over social media, which was really nice. She asked me what I was doing or what I wanted to do. And of course, I'm kind of a nerd, so I Snapchatted her back, I'm going through this class and I've made my own cancer treatment.
I had no idea what she was saying. It was all these scientific names, and I was like, okay, so she's in science. Then obviously when we got on campus, we started talking about we're taking similar classes, kind of realizing, okay, we have a similar passion.
Once I found out she wanted to be kind of like an oncologist, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to do the lab research side of things. So we kind of, grew in that aspect. That was a really big moment, I think, for us, honestly, even if it was over social media. But then getting here, it was honestly awesome. It was an instant connection. I love her with everything in me.
What I think was really interesting is how they actually had different ideas for how they wanted to get involved in the cancer field. I thought that was really cool. We had 2 different angles on such a powerful initiative.
Friendship is a simple joy that can make the worst of times a bit more bearable. On the other hand, pain is a part of life, and the loss of a loved one is unfortunate yet inevitable. But a friendship with shared and empathized pain, that's unbreakable.
I feel like as I got into middle school and high school and started to mature, I kind of realized that there's a person in my life that I never got to meet, and he has had a huge impact on my life without even being here. My Uncle Timmy, he passed away from pediatric brain cancer at the age of 14. I always felt like there was a piece of my family missing. My mom and her sisters constantly miss him, and I know my grandma and grandpa as well. I know my grandma, she kind of lost faith through it all, and I know it impacted her a great deal, and I know my grandpa as well, because that was the only child they had together. I know my mom and her sisters probably struggled with seeing him go through all of his treatments and the amount of effects it had on him as a child. I know once you get those treatments, you can't really go on with your life as you did once before. So I think that kind of had a huge impact on the way they saw him in his last moments. You ask that question, like, what if? What if he was here? What would he be like? And I know my mom and her sisters probably asked the same question, as well as my grandparents.
I grew up super close with my grandparents. They lived only about 25 minutes away from my house. We spent every Sunday there for lunches or dinners with my mom's side of the family, and my grandpa, who was one of my biggest supporters. They never missed any of my games. I think it was my sophomore or junior year in high school, my grandpa got diagnosed with cancer. My mom, my sister, and I were at a Brett Eldredge country concert one night, and my mom had known the whole day that my grandpa had gotten the result about his diagnosis, but she wanted us to have one night of just having fun. So she told us in the car, and the next day we went to my grandparents' house for lunch so we could spend time with my grandpa. And we walked into the house, and on their screen glass door of their front door, it said, "In this house we smile." So for my papa, it was a big thing. He didn't want us to worry. It was getting hard for him to kind of get up and move around to come to my game, so it's really obvious when he's not there that I know he's in a lot of pain. He fought pretty hard for a while. It was terminal. He lost his battle, actually it was March 24th, 2020, so right around COVID. We knew what he was going through, but he wanted us to just be happy and enjoy the moments we had left with him. So that sign that says "We smile in this house" that's the handwriting of what's on my wrist. Smiles actually on my glove this year as well. When we got to customize it, it's right on my thumb, so anytime I look down, I see the word smile. So it's kind of a big reminder that just, even when things go bad, just smile, because it'll be okay.
Pain is a lesson, and one unfortunately learned the hard way. and one that can be turned into a desire to do something remarkable.
It's just grown my passion to kind of work alongside people, because my grandpa also had a really fantastic nurse when we were in the hospital, which just like her bedside manner and everything about it was wonderful. And as much pain as he was in, he was as happy as he could have been given his scenario.
I know what my family's gone through. I know what he's probably went through, and that really drives my passion for this cause. And I don't want any other child to go through the same thing he did, especially at such a young age when you have so much more life to live.
Passion is the spark that will make people chase their goals. Goals that are bigger than oneself. Goals that turn into a purpose. A purpose to make a lasting impact.
Emma and I were a part of this group called Athlete Mentor Program, where we mentored younger athletes wanting to go to college for sports and stuff. And they hooked us up with Greg, who is now our agent for NIL deals and stuff. And he kind of opened our eyes to a lot of different ideas.
When he brought up, like, what do you want to do? I was like, I just want to show people like what I'm passionate about, because I'm more than an athlete. And when I came here, I always thought of myself as a softball player, but getting here, I realized the amount of passion I have for research and cancer, to the point where I wanted to share that with other people. I wanted to share my story, Hannah's story, and really impact others besides myself.
When you're passionate about something, you have really many different ways that you can express yourself. And you can do it obviously outside of your sport as much as you want. But the one thing, if you think about it, that you own on your uniform is your footwear. Obviously the My Cause, My Cleats has been very successful in the NFL, but it hasn't caught on with college softball. And so the idea was, this is an easy one, guys. We're gonna take your passion and we're gonna put it on your cleats, and people are gonna notice.
We ordered our own cleats and sent them in to the designer. And once we did that, it was kind of like, okay, this is set in stone. And then it was just whether or not they were gonna be able to fulfill the designs that we wanted or chose to have designed on the cleats. We chose a gold Nike sign because that's the childhood cancer ribbon color. And then I designed mine more for my family, so I had ribbons of the cancers that my grandparents had.
I had the gray ribbon with a gray Nike symbol on the other cleat with my Uncle Timmy's name on the bottom, because I was playing for him. And then I also had a Bible verse that says, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." I think of cancer as kind of like a weapon. Whether you end up here or not, or with him, I don't think that cancer is any bigger than you are.
I was so impressed by the work that they had done, their passion and the work they had put into the cleats. It takes a special person to be able to take your passion, but then articulate it. I think they have continued to develop as people to understand the power of an athlete, the power of a message, and that's exactly what they're doing now.
We were able to wear our customized cleats last year to raise money for St. Jude's. But St. Jude's is just a hospital that I think does wonderful things. Like, if your child has cancer and needs treatment, they go to St. Jude's and everything's paid for. But also, Emma and I kind of talked about how we're so passionate about this. We don't want it to be about us. We want it to shine light on other things bigger than the game of softball, because there's so many families going through things like this that we just want to help them. We're blessed enough to be able to be healthy enough to play softball, to use something like our name, image, and likeness to shine light on things to help other people. When you look back on this in 10, 20 years, you were able to do what you love and play softball in college, but by doing that with the new NIL things, you're also able to help so many other people's, hundreds of thousands of families, little children, even older generations, but also making a difference now can establish more for the younger generations that are coming up.
Not many people realize how many kids go through this on a daily basis. So just trying to help kids in any way I can. And I want them to experience everything that I have in life. Like, I want them to go to school dances. I want them to get to experience, relationships, connecting with people, going to college. A lot of kids don't get to do that. So just trying to share the kids' stories, share their family stories and what they're going through, I think was going to make a bigger impact in the long run.
I love that Emma and I are able to have the opportunity to use NIL. So it's kind of nice just to be able to put ourselves out there as a college athlete, understanding that we go through struggles as well, but no struggle that we go through is even close to the struggles the families are going through. So knowing that those families have us on our side and we're trying to help.
I want people to take away the fact that they can share their passion on a different level. I never thought that I could be able to do this, but I was blessed enough to be able to, and I think anybody can do the same thing. Everybody has a story, and everybody's story is important.
Don't let pain control your life. But if you turn that pain into passion and find your belonging, maybe that pain had a purpose after all. And in the midst of the joy and sadness throughout your journey, step back, realize where you are, look how far you've come, and smile.